Alright everyone, it's time for another garden update. Almost a week since I've done the last one, so, it's about time. Start off with the chamomile, growing really well. A couple more inches since the last update. That was, again, not even quite a week ago. The turnips here are growing well. Some of them have their third leaves already. Those will be growing really fast. I think I got them in the ground at the perfect time. The cabbage behind that, second leaves on that. And then there's a couple rows of beets. They're pretty small and you can't see them very well. Lots of Swiss chard, and that's starting to get second leaves too. That'll puff right up. In a week, it'll be almost unrecognizable as far as how big they'll be. 3 more rows of beets. They'll be thinned out in about a week or so. Basically. Neighbor's shooting at some food, I guess. You can see over here, we got lots of herbs in the garden, so forth. The one thing that didn't, I guess, do as well, the sweet basil here, not so happy. It's still a little bit peaked. You see this one like that. Well, I guess that one's fully dead, so yank that out. Hopefully the other one will do fine. These ones are both alive, but we'll give them a chance, basically. Lots of cucumber. Put in a bunch of beans. We got peppers. A little bit of everything, essentially. This whole area has been filled with beans. Back here, and so forth. This chamomile's doing well. The ones that were bigger before are growing faster, obviously. We've got some collards in here, basically. I don't know, some of the plants, like some of these tomatoes here, that one looks a little bit on the peaked side, I will say. But I'm hoping that it'll puff up. Lots of zucchinis and so forth. Tomatoes. I put in more beans in between the tomatoes, and the carrots you can't see, they're too little. Also, nettle water. That's just really dark green. What you do is you take the nettles, you put them on here and chop them up, basically, like you're chopping salad, I guess. Pop it in there. Lots of nutrients. You add about a cup or two of that to each watering, and give it to some of the larger plants, I suppose. The ones that I'm giving priority, because it'll add micronutrients and shit. So yeah, everything's going pretty well. Sunflowers and irises and lilies, chamomile, more oregano, chives. There's violets in there, can't really do anything about it. The absinthe wormwood is fantastic. That stuff smells really good too, trust me. Random zucchini. More beans got put in there. I still got to do a little bit of weeding back here, and these are going to get moved. These big ass perennials. There's a lot of them. It's going to be pretty fun. Another random cucumber. That was the extra. These tomatoes are fine. These are the Black Prince over here, and these ones are doing okay. It's just the other ones on the other end. I'm not 100% sure whether they'll take or not. Altogether, though, take a gander. And it's big too. The garden's bigger than it used to be. At first, size-wise, it might look smaller. But, with the addition of this nice new bed, this whole area was basically useless before. Now look at it. Underneath the new soil that I added, which is just a regular garden soil mix, an organic one, under that's a good 3 or 4 inches of pure compost and sticks and stuff like that. It's basically a hugelkultur. Some people have been asking me if I have been using that method. You can see some of the wood that's been exposed. I got to fill that in more next year. I want to raise everything up another level. Like if I'm still gardening here, I know I will. Raise it up an extra couple of inches, pile the dirt in, more wood. Basically hugelkultur everything. And also promulgate nettles as much as possible, because I want more of that nettle water. I hear it's miraculous, just like azomite. I can't even imagine you add both of them at the same time. It must be fantastic. Probably grow friggin' anything. Things like that do boost the crops. If you haven't used azomite, I recommend trying it. It really is fantastic. I don't know if that's a brand or if that's the name of the mineral, and there's multiple companies that excavate it. I know it comes from, I think, Utah or something like that. It's high in calcium and magnesium and some of these other micronutrients a lot of soil doesn't have. The fence is wearing my jacket at the moment. It's too warm outside. Like last night, I was worried about a light frost. We didn't have it. Tonight it's going to be cool, but no frost warning or anything. And then after that, it's supposed to be in the mid to upper 40s to low 50s at night. and in the 60s during the day. And that's pretty much, you know, spring has sprung at that point. Everything's leafing out. Nature is telling you, look, you know, the lilacs are getting ready. They're telling you it's time. That purple basil is going to be so tasty. Got a dehydrator with four of those plastic shelves in it. I'm going to dehydrate so many herbs. I wonder if you can do that with cilantro. I don't know. I think you have to use that fresh if you want it to be good. Throw it on a taco. There is still technically some room like in there to put things. It's just, other than beans, I don't know. I'm not going to plant any corn this year. I'm tired of it leaching the soil. Even though now with the azomite, the nettle tea, make a compost tea and everything, I bet I could grow some massive ass corn plants. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of sweet corn anyway. I like root crops more than anything else. And squash. Some of the more classic sort of New England stuff. I'm not so much into corn. I'll only eat it a couple times. Other people are like, oh my god, the sweet corn's so great. And I'm like, no, it's, you know, but, you know, how much sweet corn can you fucking eat, dude? Almost no nutritional value. There's a zombie apocalypse. Everyone's going to be begging for my crops. Everyone likes tea. You're going to need a chamomile supplier. Don't worry about it. Just convert the whole fucking property into a chamomile farm. That's what I'll do. That and leeks. Got to plant leeks. It's a meme. I'll guard it with spoons too. Have a big giant ass spoon. Make it a razor's edge. Chop off animals' heads if they go after my leeks and shit. I don't know. I'm a little bit in love with this particular bed. I mean, look at it. It looks fucking great. Nice and healthy too. Can't wait to see how many herbs I can harvest. And it's starting to sprinkle, which means I should probably cut this short. I don't want to destroy my slave device here, even though, you know, I kind of want to throw it in a fire. But it can do 60 FPS. So for mobile recording, it's okay. I'm going to get a webcam mount for the car. I mean, a camera mount for the car at some point. Most people use that for GPS. I'm like, no, I'm just going to drive around and ramble to myself. Say random shit while I'm driving along. And I'll get a Twitch channel. Or that live vid thing. Oh yeah, really quick here. See the columbine. That's going to be so covered in flowers. And there's several other big ones back there in the back bed that actually I thought hadn't come up, but they did. I already weeded almost everything, so it all looks great. I don't even have to water the beans in because it's supposed to pour tonight. Then we'll see basically what happens. It's going to be excellent. That's about all. Peace out.